Hi guys, good afternoon and welcome to the Q&A session for the movie we just finished watching, which is Ponzi, a film directed by Kaide Kasum and produced by Vincent Okonkwo. And it's really exciting to have Kaide here with me having this conversation, the director of the film. And my name is Muyiwa Wojide. I'm the creative director of Sodas and Popcorn. And we're basically a blog that, our duty is documenting the art of the movie in line with the kind of films, the kind of art that is put out there. So that's who we are. And basically, this movie Ponzi, it's great to note that it's one of the movies that are shortlisted in the competition audience award. So please make sure you make a vote for this film. There's a ranking system about 5 stars. So basically you vote for the movie how you best feel it deserves or whatever you feel it deserves. So that's something for us to note. And also, the festival is running up today. I hope you guys have had fun. We still have a couple of events lined up. After this, there's going to be a session where myself and a couple of directors are going to be talking about art house films and the marketing for them. So please stick around for that also, guys. That's going to be fun. So yes, I'm here with Kayode Kasum, the most hardworking guy in the game right now. I always say that. I know he's tired of me saying it, and I'm in no way trying to make you feel bad or something. I genuinely mean that when I say it. I mean, I love the work you put in. It's amazing. So it's nice to meet you for the first time in person. So, Kayode, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling good, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the Nollywood Week again. And I mean, it's a festival that every filmmaker is excited about. So, same thing, and that's how I feel right now. So, I'm shaking. Hope these questions are not going to be too much.
This is not your first time. You should not be kicking. You're used to this. Okay, so thank you very much for that movie. It's something that is a breath of fresh air, and I'm sure when I say breath of fresh air, I'm sure you understand what I mean. We know what it is that we see most times, because this movie, excuse me, please. It was released in cinemas a couple of months ago, so people are privileged to see it here in Nigeria, West Africa, and a lot of people had opinions or positive opinions about the film. So it's also great for us to be able to see it on the stage and have conversations about it right here. But in terms of Ponzi as a film, can you tell us a bit about the journey? Or before we get into that, actually, let's talk about you a bit, and let's not act like we know you. So, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into Ponzi?
My name is Kaide Kasum. I'm a film producer. I make films and I also direct them. I enjoy telling African stories, and for me, one of the things that are very key in telling stories is telling Nigerian stories um, with our African influences. So what that means is most of my projects, I have a lot of my actors speaking pidgin English because I do like. There's one thing that stands out in my work, which is I like to tell the truth, and I will always represent actors and represent my people and my stories as authentic as I can. Um, that's that's who I am, and that's what I do. I'm just the guy who likes making films and directing them.
Okay, that's great. Nice to meet you, Kayode. So Ponzi the movie. Can we? How did the movie come about? Where did the concept for the film come from? it's very unique. Like I said earlier, it's different in the way it's crafted. Sometimes it's fast paced, sometimes it's a heist, sometimes it's a it's satire, sometimes it's musical. So how was the story crafted? And I believe the story was written by well, maybe you should just tell us about the writing process, the writer, and then how the story came about, and how you guys decided to bring this project to life.
Okay, was Ponzi was written by Toluwani Obayan, and a very good writer. She's also written this lady called Life. And Toluwani, we had a conversation about the Nigerian system. So if you're in Nigeria, one thing that is very common is people will say cut soap for me. And after they say cut soap, so if you're not in Nigeria, what cut soap means is show me the way how you doing it. And if you're not cutting soap for people, another thing that people will ask you is show us the way. And in Nigeria, one thing that is very, very popular among our people is the Ponzi schemes. So we wanted to make a fun film that would address the Ponzi scheme topic, but we used while using different genres of filmmaking. Um, so, which is how Ponzi came about. We wanted it to have a bit of musical, wanted it to look to have a bit of satire, have a lot of comedy, and just use art to talk about the Nigerian people and the way of life. So Ponzi kind of addresses a lot of topics. It addresses politicians. He addresses the way our people are being shot with money, and where our voices are being, a lot of Nigerian voices are being closed down with money. And Ponzi does address that. So we just wanted to make a fun film. We did not, our intention was not for the audience after watching the film to feel really sad. It was just for the audience to enjoy the film, but still be able to get a message from that film. And that's how Ponzi was. We just had the intention to talk about our people, the society, and in a very comical manner. And that's how we created Ponzi.
Okay, all right, that's great. I mean, this is something that I'm very familiar with. I mean, I'm a Nigerian. We are all familiar with Ponzi schemes. If there's no MMM, there's one other thing around. There's all that, and then there's always the dreaming that Nigerians have. So that's something that, I mean, it's very relatable. To be honest, I was not sold when Robert was selling the old dream to them when he was telling them, everybody, I'm about to make everybody in this wood rich and things like that, because that's how these things come off. When you're hearing it, they're telling you you're getting 50% return in 2 days and all those things, and everybody just gets so worked up and excited. So I think that was also really well crafted. Kudos to everybody on the team that did that. Now, in terms of casting, did you go about this project um, okay, well, since it was Tolwani that wrote the script, but do you know if there was any form of consideration for the characters or for the actors that were going to play the characters before the film was shot, or that was something that you guys decided when you were trying to put the film, when you were trying to shoot the film, and say, oh, okay, this person fits this character and things like that.
So while making the film, for me, my own film process is I don't start casting until I have a full script that I'm very comfortable with. One of our aims was to, Nigerians are very colorful people, and in interpreting our casting, we wanted to make the casting too colorful. And we wanted to create a scenario where it was different people from different walks of life who all believe in this Ponzi scheme. And we wanted to do that too with our casting because in this part of the world, people in this part of the world, statistics have shown that Nigerians are more attached to projects where they already know the celebrity or the brand that is going to be playing this character. And we put that into consideration while casting. And so for us to do that, to create a really colorful film where we have different characters from different, who are champions in different mediums of filmmaking. So we have Brother Shaggy and Mr. Macaroni, who are kings in their own right in skits, in producing and directing skits for their platforms on social media. And we had Mauli Gavo, who you know very well in Nollywood, um, for his English acting. So it was more of, since we're going for the whole, bringing a whole lot of, because if you're in Nigeria, you see people from different backgrounds and different traditions all in one place and all interacting with each other. So it was more of that for us. It was bringing different characters that have never been together on screen before. It was very important that Ponzi felt very refreshing and new. And I think that it did work for us in marketing for theatrical release, and it also didn't work on screen. Um, it was a bit scary. It was, would this work? But I think everybody was just professional about it, and we were very happy and confident about the film that we released.
Yeah. Okay. So, in terms of the character Abeke, who was the narrator in the film, what inspired the choice of Abeke to be that person who was sort of taking us on a journey through the entire film?
Um, so I'll approach the question from two angles. It was, we had Abeke the character, and we, while reading the script, to because I'm Nigerian, while reading the script, there's no way that I was going to fall for that scam when he said it. So we needed somebody who was refreshing, and that's why we worked it. It was my second time working with Uzo Amaka, and it was, she's not, at the time we needed somebody who could play the character, but was not really a big face. So it was more like an introduction. So where we would be introducing Abeke, and also introducing a narrator that is talented and that could narrate us through this film. We needed Abeke because we just, with the first act of the film, which is the first 40 minutes, we needed to introduce the Ponzi scheme. And in the original script that we had, there was no narrator, and we could see it coming. And there's something that is very popular among Nigerian films that people say, I know the end of the film before I finish watching it. So what we did was, okay, let's make it obvious. If you know the end of the film, let's tell you what the film is by the title, and also have this narrator narrate the film backwards from how it happened. It was a technique that we felt would work for the story, and it's something that we're really proud of. I think there's a question from the audience here. It says, you hear a lot about political corruption, people stealing millions. How often do these people stay in the community? Um, a lot of times. So sometimes, like, I'll give a case in point, which is where what we used as case study for Ponzi. It is MMM. So at the time when MMM was going down, the in Nigeria, which is in 2016, the leaders of MMM were still in the country until they finally tried to fly off when the heat was too much. I think they flew off to Thailand at the time. So yes, most of the time this happens. And for us, Ponzi is a fictional world, but still it happens. There are worlds where in Nigeria and in Lagos where you have people from different classes coming together at once to dine under the same place. And that was what we were trying to do in film Ponzi, bringing all these different people from different classes, which is what enforced our casting. And yes, it will surprise you a lot of things that could happen in Nigeria when there's money involved.
Very true about that. So, in terms of the duration of bringing this project to life, how long did that take from pre-production all the way to post-production?
Okay, so from pre-production to post-production for Ponzi took 29 days. This was because while we were trying to make Ponzi, we had not intended to we had no date, and we had not intended to release Ponzi theatrically in the cinemas. But during the course of production, on the third day, we got feedback from distributors that we had to get the film ready in less than a month, and that just changed everything for us. So I think the whole production pace was increased by 1,000%, and we had to make the film ready from production to post production. Me personally, in my career, it's the fastest film I have done. Do I think that I would have done a whole lot better if I had more time? Yes. But I will give myself a pat on the back for making this happen in 29 days.
That's a lot of pressure in a short period of time, which leads to my follow-up question, which is, what do you think was the biggest challenge for you in putting this movie together?
Everything about the film was a challenge because we were shooting in one spot and we had like most of your biggest crowd pulling Nollywood actors on set. So every day we had to deal with, and I don't know if you know anything about shooting in Nigeria. This to people outside. I know Muiwa is very much aware. You can't shoot in Lagos without paying for any. You have to pay for everything if you want to shoot in Lagos, especially as an exterior. So that was a challenge of just trying to put area boys in order and just letting us being able to shoot. One of the challenges also was during the process of shooting, we had to record the music video. So, and the music video idea is something that came up while I was shooting. I was like, wow, I would really love to shoot this sequence as a music video. So while anytime one of the challenges was trying to figure out how the interpretation for the music video would be, um, while we were still shooting the film. And it was something that we spoke to all the actors and we got a musician on set and we wrote the lyrics while on set, while still shooting, got a recording studio to the set. And the next day we were ready to shoot the music video. So that was one of the challenging moments for me was how to capture this moment, get a good song, and everything had to happen in 2 days. So that was very big because for me, I wanted the song to be the biggest part of the film. And if that was not going to happen, I just felt that the film would have been flat. So overcoming that challenge was very difficult. And when I see the end result now, I smile and I was like, thank you, we scaled that wall.
That's some gorilla kind of
Yes, very
strategy.
gorilla. Ponzi is gorilla filming, 100%.
Oh man, Nigeria would make you turn into different things when trying to put a movie together. Okay, so I don't know if there are other questions from the audience. We'll be rounding up the session very shortly. It's been very exciting talking to Kylie and constructing the movie Ponzi, which is, of course, like I mentioned earlier, is one of the movies in the competition for the Audience Awards. So, if you have any questions in the audience, please throw them in now so that we can, trash them out before we end the session. Kayode, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for this one. It's been really something exciting. A comment from the audience says, "Love the challenges you took on." Yes, it's not easy. In Nigeria, it's
Thank
not
you.
easy. I can see that even though
Thank
I'm not
you.
a filmmaker. So, what are we going to be seeing something similar from you in the shortest time in the nearest future? Something similar to this? Are we going to be seeing a musical?
Yes, I do want to make a musical. It's something that has been on my future slate of films for a very long time. And one of the films that inspired me to make films was Sister Act 2. And I just, because I love paying homage to my references, and Ponzi is a reference to Woody Allen's films where he likes to put a bit of cartoons or musicals in his film, and that's what I was doing. So hopefully one day in the future there will be a musical. Ponzi was a test to see if that can happen. And please, what I'll say, I'll add is please vote for Ponzi for audience choice awards at the Nollywood Festival. And
Oh,
yes, there's more from Kaideka, so hopefully in the future we are working.
okay, so please, everyone, be reminded that the next conversation starts in a few minutes, and that will be a session myself and the directors of AIMOFE and um, So sorry, I've forgotten the name, the title of the other movie. I need to get that. For Maria, yes. And the title of For Maria, we'll be having a conversation on art house films and how we can market and find these films. And the one thing that we notice is a lot of the movies that have screened at festival this year and every other year are not mainstream, and these movies need to find their audiences. So this is a very important conversation that I think everybody should be a part of, because I believe that everybody has an opinion that is very valid. The link will be posted in the chat, so please do join us for those conversations in a couple of minutes. Once again, Kaide, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure
Thank you.
having this conversation with you.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to your future works. Thank you very much. And to everybody,
Thank
bye bye.